Okay, I'm on this channel now. Okay. Let's see if anybody finds me. I put up the link to the Zoom thing. I have two people. So who's here? Is Patricia here? I'm sorry, I'm a little out of it, Chaya. I'm just getting some kind of cold. Ah, yeah, I was going to go over the Torah, today's Torah and Tanya. That's what I usually do. Right. Yeah. Okay. So I can hear you now. So that's coming from the Zoom, right? So how am I? I'm doing both. Let- I see. And Patricia is on the Zoom. Let's see if I can get Patricia. Patricia? Oh, she's still trying to connect. Oh, admit. Okay, Tara's here. Okay, that's good. Tara, hi. Can you speak? Let me. No problem. So, good. How are you? I lost my voice. I lost my. Oh, here comes Karen. Okay, so right. So I just want to let's see. I'm gonna. Do I have to? Can everyone speak at once? Let's see. I'm not really. I've done Zoom, but not. Let's see. Right. Well, I just want to take a minute and just because we have a community and this is the first time I'm seeing everyone, so I just want to say hello. It's oh, and my friend Karen. So you guys found your way here? Yeah, everyone's here. Patricia, are you able to connect to the audio? Okay, hear you now. Yeah, that's great. Okay, I'm just glad you're here. And Karen, how about you? You doing all right? I don't know how much technology Karen has, so all right, so let's just go into it, I guess. And if you guys want to say anything, now you can use the chat too, right? Chaya, is this being broadcast on YouTube as well? Share screen. Okay. Okay, now I'm getting into the weeds here. Let's see. Okay, looks like we're on both. Yeah, we're on both YouTube and Zoom, which is cool. Hey, Karen, how you doing? Nice to see you. I'm sorry about my voice. Can you guys hear me a little bit? Yeah, you can hear me. Okay, good. So today's Torah, we're dealing with the burning bush. I'm going to speak quietly, and then it'll be easier. Hi, Patricia. How are you? So nice to see you. This is great. I think this is really amazing. Now, were you able to just get here through YouTube or through Zoom? To the Okay, well, you must be computer savvy enough. You got here, so that's yeah. And to hear your voices is very nice too. And Carolyn is here. Chaya is here. She's going to just help us out because I told her, she's also very interested in the Noahide, um, the Noahide laws, and we both feel it's like really important right now that people understand, that non-Jews understand that they can be kind of included in the community through the Noahide laws. Because I think I'm getting the sense that as the mountains are collapsing in the heart of the sea, in other words, as more information comes out about different religions and things, that people are going to be needing some kind of place to go. I think when a lot of the scandals, for example, with the Vatican comes out, that could create some serious storm weather. All right, so today is Wednesday already. We're already in the fourth day of the week, and I'm going to go from this book. So it starts out, and again, this Chai, are you familiar with this book, with this Chumash? It's a Kahos. It's a fairly new Chumash, but it's amazing because it has a lot of the comments from the Rebbe. Yeah, it's really cool. So yeah, there's another one, right? There's another one like it. This is a little newer. And I apologize for my voice, but so let's just go through this quickly. I don't think it shouldn't be too long. Actually, it is pretty long. How could that be? Oh, that's fifth reading. Okay, so let me just figure out how long it is. Okay, it's 2 pages. Great. Okay, so this is basically an important part of the adventure with Moses. Okay, today is like Moses at the burning bush. What that means, and we're going to find out. I'm going to just read a little bit. So God is on the behavior of Moses, who was tending to the flocks of his father-in-law Yisro, or Jethro, who would later be known as Jethro, the deposed ruler of Midian. Okay, so he lost. There's a lot of kingship. I don't know, Carolyn, if Chaya, if you're familiar, but apparently Moses took a short time out and became the king of Ethiopia for 10 years. Yeah, it's all in here. It's really amazing. And concluded that he would be a suitable redeemer. So God watched Moses and he saw that Moses, I think I mentioned this yesterday, that a kid from the flock of sheep ran away and it ran to get water. And in running away, it got really tired. So Moses really understood that, and he picked up the sheep, the little shepsel, the little baby lamb, and brought it back. He carried it back, and that was the thing that God used to decide that Moses was qualified to lead the Jewish people. I heard a very interesting thing in shul this morning that I think really pertains to what's going on in today's news, and that is that God didn't really come to save the Jews until they cried out. And I think the same thing is happening today. I think as more and more people cry out against this kind of oppressive medical treatment, that God will be, God will intervene, and that we have to do our part as well. And that maybe that is part of our part. But anyway, so for example, right, so the kid ran away and Moses carried him back. So Moses typically guided the flock far into the desert. Also, this is another attribute of Moses that God really liked, so that he wouldn't be eating, so that his sheep wouldn't be eating somebody else's land. So he was scrupulously honest. Um, Moses typically guided the flock far into the desert so they would not graze in other people's property, and on one occasion came to Mount Sinai, where God would eventually give the Torah. This mountain was also known as Mount Horeb. And there's a picture. Picture's not really that great. Okay, an angel appeared to him in the heart of the blazing fire from the midst of a thorn bush. By revealing himself in a prickly thorn bush, God intimated to Moses that he felt the Jewish pain and suffering. As Moses gazed, he saw the bush was on fire, but the bush was not being consumed. So that's sort of the miraculous nature of the bush and this event. So Moshe said, let me turn away from what I am doing here and go over to behold this remarkable sight. Why doesn't the bush burn? When God saw that he had turned aside to look, he called to him from the midst of the bush and said, Moses. And Moses said, here I am. God said, come, don't come any closer. Remove your shoes from your feet, for the place on which you are standing is holy ground. After Moses did this, God said, I am the God of your father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob. Moses hid his face since he was afraid to look at God. God said, I have seen the affliction of my people in Egypt. I have heard their outcry caused by their taskmasters, for I am aware of their pains. And this is critical, that the Jewish people cried out, just as like people are crying out all over the world now. And we're having this global uprising, really, this global awareness that we've been kept in slavery for all these years. And I've come down to rescue them from the hands of the Egyptians and to take them up from that land to a good and ample land, to a land flowing with goat's milk and date and fig honey, the region of the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Amorites, the Perizzites, the Hivitites, and the Jebusites, whatever. Even though I am promised the territory, right? Even though I also promised these territories, there's some other territories that they said you won't get it this time. You'll get it later. Um, and he said, okay, so he's telling about all these different regions that he's going to get. And now the outcry of the Jews has indeed reached me. And this is, I think, the real critical point of the whole of today's parsha, is that, they called out, and God hears the cry and he responds. I've also seen the oppression to which the Egyptians are subjecting them. So they were, we heard yesterday about the taskmaster who was beating the Jewish guy, and Moses killed him. So that was a good lead up, a good foreshadowing of what's going on today. Therefore, now go. I will send you to Pharaoh to convince him to release the people, and your words will be effective. You will take my people out of Egypt. So this is a big promise. I mean, and it probably seemed as impossible as us being led out of our current exile. I mean, it just seems like the enemy is too tough, they're too entrenched, they're too powerful, they're too rich, but God can do it. So Moses said to God, who am I that I should go to Pharaoh? And this is puzzling to me. I don't know if it's puzzling to you. I am just a shepherd now. I do not possess the social status to address a king. Now, what seems strange to me, and moreover, let me just read. And moreover, by what merit of theirs can I take the Jews out of Egypt? This would require a miracle. And in my perception, they are not worthy of such a miracle. I have seen they are quarrelsome and willing to slander each other. And that he got from yesterday's adventure with Aviram and Dasan, I think. Remember, he was the Jewish guys came out and said, "Oh, are you going to kill us too?" And they were quarreling with each other. So he's saying, like, maybe they don't merit to come out. But God said, do not worry about your status, for I will be with you, and you will be speaking on my authority, not your own. You have seen here that the bush performs my mission and is not consumed. This is your sign too, that you will be not harmed in the mission that I have sent you on. As for your second question, the people are indeed worthy of a miracle. For when you take the people out of Egypt, you will be doing so in order that they all serve God by receiving my Torah on this mountain. It is therefore worth it for me to perform miracles on their behalf, even if they do not deserve it themselves. So God says that they're worthy. I mean, and that's kind of a question, and it's kind of an interesting thought. But Moses said to God, I am going to come to the Jews and say to them, the God of your forefather has sent me. When they hear this, they will ask me, what is his name? Meaning, what kind of God is it that allows the children of these forefathers who he loved so dearly to suffer in such terrible exile for so long? Why does he remember us only now that we have suffered so much and thousands of our children have been slaughtered? When they ask me this, what should I tell them? So God said to Moses, tell them that I was and will continue to be with them in this exile, just as I will be with them in later exiles. I do not ignore them during their exiles, but in fact, I feel their suffering and suffer with them. Moses said, it is enough that they have to suffer the present exile. Why should I mention future exiles? Then God said, this is exactly what I meant. Although I am telling you that I will suffer with them in their future exiles, you must say to the Jews only that the God who says, I will be with them in exile, sent me to you. So he's talking about in all exiles, including what we're going through right now. Like, God is with us. God further said to Moses, and if they ask, can you guys hear me? I know my voice is really weak. You guys can hear it? Yeah? Okay, good. If God feels our suffering, why does he allow it to continue? So must you say to the Jews, God, the God of mercy, the God of your forefathers, the God of Abraham, of Isaac, and Jacob, has sent me to you. The exile and all its suffering was, in fact, an act of my mercy. The fact that this was not apparent was simply because my attribute of mercy, though operative, is hidden in exile, and indeed in this world in general. Therefore, although God, indicating my attribute of mercy, is my proper name at all times, its pronunciation is to be concealed. So God didn't want to be known by the name of mercy at this point, from the general populace until the final redemption, which is hopefully what we're going through now. Nevertheless, even now, it is possible to call forth my mercy from its concealment, but not directly by pronouncing the mercy name as it is written. Indeed, this is how I am to be recalled for all generations until the final redemption. They should substitute the name, we say Adonai, okay, my Lord, right? Um, for my proper name. They can elicit my mercy by pronouncing this name as if it were the name of lordship, acknowledging that I govern the world and have my own, sometimes inscrutable reasons for doing so in the way I choose. So God in this chapter, in this Chumash, is using a name that he didn't use before with the Avos, with the fathers. He's using the four-letter name of God, which is God as he is above nature, which is a very high level. Previously, he had revealed himself as, I'm not going to pronounce it the way it would be pronounced, but it's Al Shakai. But the K is not in the real pronunciation, which is I guess you would say a lower level, a level that's more probably part of nature. But the whole thing here, I mean, to me, the most interesting part, and the part that really, to me, pertains to our present exile, is that the suffering is not for nothing. I mean, then they really suffered. All these thousands of kids that were you know, used by Paro for, and killed. This is very much paralleled in today's story. I mean, we're dealing with a tremendous amount of children that are disappearing. So it's the same. I believe it's the same enemy. It's really, in a way, it's kind of like the same exile that we're dealing with today, because we're dealing with Moilech, and we're dealing with, Paro was like, he was into all this magic, the pyramids, all these things. We're going to soon find out what all this means. But I think this is really like, very closely aligned to what we're going through now. Okay, so here, I will be as I will be. The numerical value of the word I will be is 21. I will be as I will be implies multiplying the two words, giving me 21 times 21, which is 441, which is the numerical value for the word truth, emes. Very interesting. With these words, God was giving Moses the power to reveal the difficult but deep truth about God's providence and empathy towards exile. So the number I will be, let's see. Let me just get the name. Right. So this is how it will be called for future generations, which is the four-letter name of God, which is Havaya, which is 26, which is above nature. But he's also saying that he is revealing the name of I will be, which has the gematria of 21, and that's related to the word emes, which is truth. So I will be is like always true. All right, so now we can actually speak. This is new to us, Chaya. We've been typing in. I mean, unless you guys want to do chat, anybody have any like thoughts about this or questions or? If you, this is Tara speaking. Oh, it's Karen. It's Tara. Okay, so right, so there are many names for God, and I mean, from my understanding, it's they're all aspects, like different aspects of godliness. And some people say that the whole Torah is really just like one big long name of Hashem. And I have actually on my shelf, when I first got to yeshiva, let's see if I can find it. Right, I have a book of all the names of Hashem. This is not something that most people have on their bookshelves. I just decided to buy it, but you can see there are many different names, and these are also the names, I believe, of the malachim, the angels. A lot of, and there are a lot of, like weird signs and stuff in the names. But yeah, right, exactly. But and so that's kind of beyond our understanding. But the fact that he revealed himself to Moses as Havaya, which is the one above nature, um, is interesting because in order to fight with Paro, he had to use the word Elohim, which is God as he is in nature, because Paro uh, um, did not have the ability to understand that there was a God above nature. Like the Egyptians were all about, their gods that were, like the Nile and the animals. I think actually, Chaya, correct me if I'm wrong, but that the sheep were considered like gods to the Egyptians, and that's why they had a bit of a problem with the Jews, because Jews eat sheep. Um, yeah, yeah, and they had a hard time. Yeah, yeah. I'm also thinking of the medical treatment now. I mean, it's like by refusing to do what they want you to do is not. They like to lead with an iron fist. I don't know. I don't. That's a good question. I'm not sure. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I know that when the brothers were dining with Joseph, that the Egyptians didn't want to hang around because they were eating lamb. Anywho, okay. So how are we doing on time? Yeah, Karen, you have something to? Yeah, I think that's perfectly good. I think that's why Torah is really alive, because it does speak to us each individually, and we all get different pictures of it. And I don't think there's, like, one right way. I think there's so many ways to look at everything, and it's really exciting in that way. I think it's all tailored to each of us. Right. Yeah, there are like four basic levels to read it, but I think what's really exciting is that it really speaks to us as individuals, and, like, even if we don't know the Kabbalah or the gematria, that there's a meaning, that they say Torah is alive, and I think that's really what, to me, that's what they mean, is that it addresses each of us individually. Yeah. Also, as a community, I mean, one of the cool things about, like, living in a Jewish community is that, like, every week people talk about the Torah portion of the week. So we do really live with the times. I mean, some people more than others. I'm not deeply immersed in the community, but, like, when I talk to people on Shabbos, they in my community, they really, a lot of them want to talk about, relate to the Torah. Hey, Devorah. Right. And the other nice thing is that through the years, your understanding towards the event or towards the holiday changes. So, you know, each year you're kind of like adding a little more information into, like, what this is really about. And when you have a Seder, when you have a Passover Seder, you learn every year, it's like a little bit more interesting, or it's different. Karen, you want to say anything, or you're I can't. Okay, so I haven't figured out. Okay, downloaded Telegram, but I haven't figured it out. Okay, that's a great idea. You want to just type it in, Karen? Looks like she's frozen. I think she has, like, technical, like, she has to, it has some difficulties with the technology. Patricia, you want? You want? Yeah, I did, but I think she has some issues with. She has like her phone is not so great. Um, okay, so let me just let's see. We also a lot of people are here. Richard came. Okay, great. Bassman's here. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Irene's here. Cool. And Deborah. Nice. Okay, so I asked Chaya to come today just to hang out with us, and she's she has her own groups, and she can certainly add some cool stuff. So you don't have to just listen to me. And now we have the technology where people could come on and speak, which is really nice. We're growing, okay? We're using, and this is this is an example. And this is kind of like this really aligns to me with the Torah section of today. Um, hey, Irene, that the Jews are going through a very difficult time, just like we're going through now. We're really going through a very transformative time, but we can use the challenging elements of the experience to we can, like they say, like the Democrats always say, never let a crisis go to waste. Excuse me. So as a result of having to like skip around to different channels, I realized that it's time to try Zoom. Okay, so all right, I just want to just touch on the Tanya just a little bit, so we don't lose the thread. And I apologize for my voice. Hopefully, it'll come back in a couple of days. Today is a little bit of a long Tanya. Okay, so it says the overview of chapter 11 is the various levels of Rasha, of an evildoer, depend on the frequency and degree of succumbing to the impulses of the inner animal. Some have occasional relief and quickly regret and return. Others are overwhelmed and under its grip. So, dealing with the Yetzer Hara, with your animal soul, is, to me, is kind of like an ongoing process, and it's it's very similar to what we're dealing with now with the hidden enemy in the political sphere. It's not an easy fix. It's not just like you arrest a few people and everything is kumbaya. It's it takes a long time to figure out the enemy. And there's this battle for the small city. That's the battle for the body. Both the holy soul and the animal soul want control. Um, so, yeah, I'm not going to go into the details of this. I just wanted to you're talking about, the whole idea of a Benini is that he never really eradicates the evil from his soul. He still really wants whatever evil, he still wants the chocolate cake, but you develop certain strategies to deal with it, and sometimes you fall and you get up and you just keep going. So the takeaway, that is to say, even if they are all in the category of a Rasha, that only knows evil, the Shekhinah, the godly spirit, still hovers over them, for they too possess good in a matter of makif. In other words, we're all surrounded by this goodness. So even if you're like a completely evil person, you're swimming in a sea of goodness. And so there's always a possibility. Since at such gatherings the Shekhinah, that's the like the godly presence, is present only in the external encompassing. So this is a very like Kabbalistic concept, but there are two kinds of forces that we deal with. One is makif, which is the surrounding light, and the other is more panemius, more like the inner individualized light. In other words, it's that individualized force that knows the difference between an eye and a foot. So it gives a different quality of energy to the eye than the foot. But the encompassing light is kind of like a big soup, but the Shekhinah is there, so there's a godly presence. So there are many levels of Roshoyim. One can be turned to Rasha, an evil one, in the true definition, even if no one would call him one, for merely losing control in one area of his life. This, however, should not cause him to be dejected. In other words, abandoning the middleman, never entertains. Thoughts come into his mind, but he never entertains them. He never lets them control him. This is a very high level. Is it achievable? They say it is. I mean, for me, it's an ongoing battle, but I don't know. Everyone could be holding on a different level, but this for sure, this battle for sure applies, to Jews and non-Jews. That's why, I don't think. I mean, I've heard Chaya that Tanya is taught to non-Jews, that it's okay. And, certainly on the internet, everyone, it's all accessible, like on Chabad.org and that kind of thing. Okay, so you downloaded Telegram. Oh, you haven't figured it out. Okay. Yeah. It took me a while to figure out Telegram too, but now it's like my main channel. There's so much information on Telegram. kabbalahguru, but I have a couple of channels. It's the one with over 300 subscribers. There's one that's a chat, and that's for sharing information. If the community wants to write a comment, there's a chat one there, and there's also like one that Rob and I post videos. I don't know if Rob's here now, but Rob is very very hardworking, and he's constantly posting videos on that channel. So there's some very interesting material. It's real. What? Can you can unmute? Oh, you saw it. Okay. So yeah, so everybody's probably on Telegram. I look sad. That's because I'm sick. I have some kind of cold, and I'm not 100% in my space. Yeah, I get confused with multi-platform. Yeah, absolutely. Yikes. Yeah. There's a lot going on. I mean, but I think it's important that we master it to some degree. And that's what I'm saying about being in exile. So too, like being in exile from our main channel on YouTube is giving us an opportunity to try different things. Patreon too, right? Yeah, Patreon I haven't quite figured out either, but I think it's a way that people can contact me more directly. I just have to work with that a bit more. And I'm also developing, by the way, I'm working on developing another course. So I'm working with my son on that. So hopefully in the next couple of weeks, we'll have a new course. Anybody else? Anybody want to share something? I mean, this is a great opportunity to hear voices that we don't hear. Or you guys, Richard, you had trouble getting on Zoom? Yeah, Egyptians worship snakes, right? Yeah, they reptiles. They're into reptiles, just like now. I mean, Chai, if you go to my my Telegram channel, you'll see all kinds of strange information coming through. Yes, it's very eclectic. I mean, we have a lot of thing about the deep underground military bases, and I have no audio. Right. Well, actually, Richard, no one is really talking. So, somebody want to say anything? You guys, Patricia or Tara or Karen, you want to add something? Okay, Tara. Well, my understanding is that the decree was nullified in that time. In other words, there were the Baal Shem Tov, who was not in the body anymore, and let's see, it was the Baal Shem Tov and the Maggid, his two teachers, came to him in the jail cell, and they told him the decree is nullified. And not only is it not forbidden to teach Chassidus, but you should go out and teach it more. And I don't think that's not changed. In fact, it says that when these teachings are spread out like the waters of the oceans, that's when Mashiach will come. So this is part of the process of the revelation of Mashiach is to spread uh, these mystic teachings, I believe. So it's yeah, yeah. I don't think the Kabbalah Center is so kosher. Also, there was another. Oh no, yeah, that's right, Rabbi Berg. But on the other hand, you know, nothing. It doesn't. Maybe it doesn't hurt. I mean, I think learning Kabbalah by itself is pretty limited, but Hasidus really like incorporates Kabbalah into makes it like user friendly, makes it yeah, puts it in a form so you can understand it with your intellect, which is very, is revolutionary really. To be teaching this to the world is could transform the whole planet and bring Mashiach. So I think what we're doing here, even though we don't have hundreds of people, it's like of very. I think the whole Noahide movement is critical to the coming of Mashiach. You want? Uh, uh, Patricia's going to add something. Can you unmute? Uh, Thanks so much, Patricia. Yeah, I think it's amazing. I'm really happy to see everybody and be able to have other people share their voices. So I don't know how we're doing time wise. So yeah, we're coming close. I don't know how I got on both Zoom and uh, YouTube, but it's great. This is amazing. I wish I had known this. I would have done this a long time ago. So we'll just keep plowing ahead, and I'll see you guys tomorrow or tonight. And I think we'll do it the same way tonight, and we can share. And you guys, Richard, I don't know if you can get on Zoom, but it'll be great to see your face and have you share. Oh, and also, everybody should know you don't have to share. If you don't feel comfortable, you know, if you just want to like not show yourself or not speak, that's okay too. But I'm really happy to hear your voices. It's really a great honor for me. Okay, so that's it. So Chaya, thank you so much for coming by. We really value your insight. And Karen, it's great to see you. I'm sorry you're having like technology issues. Richard and everybody else. Oh, Larry's here. Great. Yeah, it did work. Oh, okay. So Larry, you'll figure it out. We're all moving up in the world of technology, and soon when Truth Social comes on, we won't have to worry about censorship. Please God. Wow. You have to open your cards and show who you really are. Nice, HH. I'm so happy to see you. It's a great honor. We have some very interesting, beautiful souls on this Zoom meeting right now, and I apologize that my voice is not really functioning so well, but that will change, please God. All right, so we'll see you guys tonight, and have a great day. Many blessings. Okay, thanks, Richard. See you guys later. Thanks again, Haya. And she knows also also Chaya knows a lot about the Noahide laws. If you guys want a real specialist. Okay, bye. No, but yeah. I don't know. I actually have other rabbis too who are very willing to join us. So we'll work on that. Okay. See you guys later. Have a great day. Bye, guys.